Okay, YouTube family, it all began in the year 2000 when we bought our first home. About 5 years later, we decided to remodel the kitchen, and we had kitchen tune-ups to come out, and kitchen tune-ups came out, gave us a price of about $37,500. We were like, no, that's too much. So we ended up finding a wholesaler which carried cabinets and granite. We ended up getting 30 feet of granite, more cabinets than what Kitchen Tune-Ups was giving us within the price they quoted us. And so we were able to redo our whole kitchen with 30 feet of granite, a lot of cabinets, and redid our floor from linoleum to travertine tile. And we did all of that for about $3,000. And then we had a family room on the back of the home, and we had a sunroom that we wanted to turn into a family room, and we went ahead and sandwiched the sunroom between plywood and framing on the inside, and then we went ahead and sheetrocked and taped and mudded, and by the time we were done, we had a complete new room, fully permitted, because we did not tear down the sunroom. So if I can find the video for that remodel that we did, I'll be posting it here on the channel. We've been looking for it. So let's go ahead and get into the deck build photos. Okay, YouTube family, as you can see on the invoice, that was the second quote from this guy for $8,000. First quote from him was for $15,500, and then the guy before him, when he came out, told us $35,000. I said, man, I don't want a room addition. We just want a deck built onto the back of our house. So then we went to this guy. And so once he came back with his $8,000, dropping from 15, I told my wife we're going to do it ourselves. So we priced everything out, and what you see following is what we did. Okay, YouTube family, what you see in the photo is what we use for the foundation of the deck. That is called an OZ post. They have these for decks and fences. For the deck, you would use that plate at the bottom, and you drive the OZ post in through the deck. It goes about 2.5 feet into the ground. You can utilize a sledgehammer. We tried that. We did about 3 or 4 of those. After the fourth one, I said, no, we have to go get a jackhammer. And so we used the jackhammer for the remaining OZ posts. I believe we used a total of 15. It was 15 or 17. I can't remember how many we used, but this is what we use for the foundation of the deck. Okay, YouTube family, what you're seeing here in this photo are the beams. You see the OZ post. The 4x4s went into the OZ post, and because the ground was unlevel, we had to measure and cut the 4x4 post as needed in order to make the beams level all the way across. And so that's what you see in this photo. So at this stage, we had completed putting in all of the beams, and what we used double 2x6s. So each section that you see, that is representative of two 2x6s joined together, and those were what we utilized for the beams. Okay, on to the joist. And as you can see, by this point, we had already laid down all of the joists and secured them. Now, what we had done, because the height of the doors, where the doors are from where the ground was, I had to measure out from the ground, of course, up to the plate of the door. And so we ended up using 2x6s for the joist as well in order to give the height that we needed. And so at this point, we were literally 2 inches away from the door sill plate of the doors. And so as you'll see in the following photos, all of the deck boards lined up exactly with both doors on both sides. Well, actually, on the left side it lined up. There's a drop down on the right side, and so we created steps, or rather a step down on that right side. Okay, and this is the shot from the left side of the deck facing the house at the left corner with the deck boards on it. By this point, we had already looked at composite decking, and that composite decking, the pricing was ridiculous on the composite decking. My goodness. So we decided to go with the 2x6s for the deck boards as well, and that's what you see here in the photo. Okay, by this point we were halfway through laying down the deck boards, as you can see, and it was beginning to take shape, beginning to take form, beginning to look really, really nice. By the time we got to this point, man, we were so excited and so happy because this was our first deck build, and it turned out awesome, as you'll see in the following photos. But it looked really, really, really nice at this point. Okay, 3/4 of the way done with laying the deck boards at this point, and we had also created the step down or the door on the right side, as you can see. But it was, looking really nice. We were near done as far as laying the deck boards at this point. Okay, had to drop a photo in of the level on the deck boards, and this was directly in the center, but I had put it in different locations, and at each section, each location around the deck, the bubble was in the middle. It was level because the beams were level, and so we were, moving right along, everything in step. Okay, so what this is a shot of part of the railing being up, which a good friend of mine came by and did the railing. But prior to this, he also came by and helped me fix what happened with the deck boards. Now, the beams were square, but once I had laid the deck boards all the way out, the deck boards, because I forgot to check for square all the way across, were out of alignment once we got to the end of this. But a buddy of mine, another guy who's also a former construction worker, he was able to go to the rear of it, snap the chalk line, and we cut it straight across, and everything was fine. And it actually is amazing because when you'll see in the photos, when you look at the photos from inside the house onto the deck boards line up with the flooring that we laid down inside the house. And I'm going to be doing a video on the flooring we did on the inside of the house also. Okay, and here is this photo that I was referring to when you look at the deck from inside the house. If you take a look at where the deck boards are laid and you can see how they almost line up exactly with the flooring inside of the house. And so we were done with the railing, and next we put down the bare deck paint, and then everything began to take its final process, or look rather, once we laid down the bare deck paint, because then that set what we were going to do with the color scheme for the rails. Okay, this was just a photo from the middle or center of the deck. The ladder you see up was up because I was trimming back some of the tree branches away from the deck. But this is with all of the pickets on the deck railing all the way around. And so the next photos to follow will be of I believe the painted portions of the deck and then the rails. This is the left corner shot, but this time, of course, showing the rails and the complete deck. And you can see how it's taking form, how it looks facing the house. We were, just, man, so excited at this point and so pleased with the job that we had done, and amazed at how everything turned out. And as I always say to you all, You can do this too. Remember, the first quote was $35,000. The second quote, $15,500. Third quote from the same guy with the first 15,500 quote, $8,000. And we did this total cost $2,500. Okay, here's the shot from inside of the house. This was after we put down, I think, 2 coats of the Bear. We still had to go in between the deck boards, but this is what it looked like after 2 coats. This was a nighttime shot. Okay, this was after we had completely painted the deck. This is a shot from the side of the house where it stepped down. That is how we created it. We were in about three or four coats at this point on the Bear. It was looking good. It was covered. It actually ended up looking like composite decking once we were done with it, and we were very pleased with it at this point. Took that nighttime photo after we had completely finished everything up. The railing wasn't painted at this point, but this is what it looked like from the right corner. And man, we were loving it. Okay, what you see is how we set up our screen and projector when we do our outdoor movie nights in the summertime. The table you see there is what we set the projector on, and we put it on top of an Xbox box, and we run the sound from the projector in through the surround sound system, and then we draw the video from a Roku device. We picked up the Google Wi-Fi pack, and so the Google Wi-Fi system allows us to pick up a Wi-Fi signal throughout the entire backyard because of where it's placed right inside the house. And so we have a ball in the summer time at night with the kids and the grandkids watching movies out here with the surround sound, and we have a ball. Okay, coming up next, I've included here at the end a very short clip from one of the movie nights that we had, and this was back then. We built the deck about 8 years ago now, but that particular night we were watching one of the Fast and Furious movies, and so you're going to see a short 13-second clip of how the video looks on the screen at night.
Ask the question.